Hey everybody, how are you doing? This is Dr. Carmen Bryant and this is Car Chronicles. How are you guys doing? You doing all right? All right, let's talk about some things. What I want to talk about is how the narcissist uses shame. First, we have to understand what is shame. And this past Tuesday, so I don't know when you're going to get this, but this past Tuesday, please go download Clubhouse, or if you have Clubhouse, go and find Destiny Helper House. My mom, Apostle Helen Sadler, and listen to the broadcast. But she does talk about shame, and there were some really great conversations on shame. And we always say the same thing. Usually when we come off of the broadcast, we usually have new topics, for the week. So I wanted to go and talk about shame and how the narcissist uses shame. So first of all, let's understand what shame is. And I'm going to stop and start the video, which you won't know, but in order to give you the definition of what shame is. So you guys ready? Shame is an unpleasant emotion. An unpleasant emotion. Remember that. Emotion that can cause feelings of unworthiness, low self-esteem, distrust, and exposure. So if you recall in a video that I did before, a narcissist is an emotional vampire. It's unfortunate that to label them that way, but for lack of better words, and to put it in layman's term to help people to understand, they're emotional vampires. They look for people because they need to manipulate emotions, and a lot of people make decisions based off of emotions. That's not a good thing. I served in the military as a senior leader, and one of the biggest things is it's a male-dominated field, number one. And number two, they always assume that females cannot make leadership decisions because we're too emotional, which is not true. Yes, we're nurturers by nature. Yes, we do have emotions, but a lot of us are capable of being leaders in the military without getting our emotions in the way. Yes, we may, as a woman, we may process information through emotions, but to put the emotions away, to put the better good ahead. And I'm just using that as an example. But a narcissist has to manipulate emotions. A narcissist is full of chaos on the inside. There is no peace. It's like a emotional hoarder. They're hoarders on the inside, and it manifests on the outside. They cannot control anything on the inside, so they have to control things, or they think they have to control everything around them. People, things, anything, situations. If they can't get what they want, they're always trying to figure out, how can I get what I want, but manipulate you into getting it from you. And so they bank on the fact that I can manipulate your emotions. I can gaslight you. I can make you feel bad about yourself, and I can get what I want from you, or make you make certain decisions based off of how I can manipulate your emotions. Guilt, shame is one of the biggest things. A lot of you grew up in households where it's unfortunate because you didn't find out until you got older, but you grew up in a household with toxic parents, or parents, or caregivers. Not everybody grew up in a home with their parents. Some of you grew up in foster care. Some of you grew up with grandparents or aunts or uncles that helped raise you, and a lot of those people ended up being toxic. One or both ended up being toxic. And so your life, the way that you grew up and the way that you understand people and the world is based off of the interactions of the people that were around you and that were your foundation, the parental figure in your life. And a lot of them used shame to get what they want. The sad part about it is you have a lot of parents that try to live vicariously through their kids. And the thing is that we want a good parent wants their children to do better than them. We've had experiences, we've had hurt and pains, and so we try to educate and teach our children how to do it better than what we did, so that you don't have to go through some of the things that we went through. If you've lived in poverty for a long time and you brought yourself up to, a reasonable means of surviving and a comfortable living, you want to teach your children, how to fill out job applications, how to fill out college applications. You want to teach how to put money aside, how not to, create bills that you can't afford, or trying to live above your means. We try to teach them things that we may have had to learn the hard way. A narcissist, on the other hand, number one, they live vicariously through that child, and that's where you get a lot of the golden children. But also, when they see that their children are doing better than them, which we want, because my children will take me and put me on a cruise. I want them to do better. So you can pay for my cruise, and you can send from me. I'm sorry, that was a sidebar. But anyway, but they look at them, and then they see all the things that they could have done, or they see that their children are better at them in certain things, or they're pretty, or they're more handsome, them, or they have more friends, or they're popular, and so what happens is that they are jealous. That's a sad thing. They're jealous that you're getting all the attention, because I was getting the attention at first because I'm the parent associated with you. So it makes me feel good. And, you think that they're bragging about you because they're proud of you as a parent. My child is going here. My child is entering the military. My child is going to college. My child is doing this. They're not bragging. In your mind, you're thinking they're so proud of me. And people are like, your parent is so proud of you. They're not proud of you. They're proud that you're making them look good. Because let you get injured in college, or let you get injured in a sport, or let you not be able to do that very thing that you're doing, they're going to make you feel bad. I figured that you couldn't handle that. I knew that you couldn't carry on our name. I knew this. Now they're making you feel ashamed. Or they'll take those attributes, those great attributes, because you are becoming an individual yourself. You always have been. But now you are separated from that narcissist when it comes to identity. And even though they want to take the credit for it, you are becoming your own person, and people are seeing you, and that narcissist doesn't like it because it's separated from their personality, from their ego. And so they'll tear you down and make you feel ashamed of your accomplishments. They'll literally make you feel ashamed that you finished college or you're doing well. Must be nice to be able to pay all your bills without no help. Must be nice to drive a nice car. Must be nice to have new pair of shoes. Must be nice to put your children in private school. Must be nice to be able to attend college. I wasn't able to do nothing like that. They're telling you already. Everything that's coming out of their mouth is telling you already. And for most people, because you love your parents, you try to dismiss it and justify their behavior. But now they're making you feel ashamed of your accomplishment. And so you're afraid to share that with them because you're afraid that they're going to downplay it. You've written a movie or a play or written a book, and I haven't seen it. I haven't read it. I haven't done this, so you feel bad because you're expecting your parent that they make you feel ashamed of your accomplishments. For a lot of you, you have developed personal values, personal belief systems. You don't believe in hurting people. And you've learned by watching your caregivers how they've damaged people. A lot of you have empathy. So you're able to put your feet in other people's shoes, and, I don't want to treat them that way because I don't want to be treated that way. Or, I want to do for the homeless or the poor, or I want to make sure that I can give them something to eat because it could have been me, and I don't want people to treat me that way, or, to feel, empathy for a person, and you do well. So you have certain values. You have developed your own belief system that could be different than your parents, So you have developed a different belief system, values, the respect for people, and you have certain experiences at your job or your career field or your life work. And so you've developed these personal beliefs, and they'll attack those things. They violate your personal values. They violate your personal beliefs, or they traumatize you to make you question whether or not your beliefs are logical. That's not even logical. They take facts and mix it with lies. So for some of you thinking that, it is partially true. A lie mixed with the truth is a lie. That is not realistic. You can't, they did. Well, this part of it, that is correct. They're taking the truth and they're mixing it with a lie in order to what? Gain control. In order for what? For you to change your narrative. In order to do what? To gain control over. They want you to think like they think. But even when you think like they think and you repeat what they say, or you start acting like them, they turn around and point their finger like, why would you act that way? And you're thinking to yourself, that's exactly how you act. That's not how I act. You have that misconstrued. But everything is shame. So a lot of you end up growing up, being perfectionists. Perfectionist is rooted, being a perfectionist, and people brag about being a perfectionist. Perfectionism is rooted in fear of being rejected, fear of being shamed, fear of being abandoned, fear that I just can't do it right. I can't do anything right. No matter what it is that I do, I can never do it right because they made you feel that way. They always move the boundaries. They always move the stakes. And no matter what it is you do to try to live up to expectations, it's a big empty hole. You never are able to live up to expectations. So a lot of you guys are living in fear. So you have become perfectionism and perfectionists. And as a perfectionist, you find yourself not being able to start anything or finishing anything because it's just not good enough. And then you find yourself thinking that I'm just not good enough. Where did that come from? Because that came from the person that imparted that in you. You have to recognize the shame that they impart and the fact that they want power and control. That's what they're all about. That's the sad part. I need you to go be great. You're welcome.